Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's the Cakey Duck here. Today I'll be showing you how to take a cake from this to this. So we are doing a two-tier graduation cake, and just look at how lovely that is. Just stick with me. We're going to be showing you step by step how to assemble this cake, coat it, and make it into a masterpiece. Yeah, so we start off with preparing the base for the top tier, and we're using this PVC rod because it's quite sturdy, and this method is actually very easy to do, and I think it's actually the easiest method for me personally to stack a cake because you tend not to have to carry the top tier with your hands. You just lift it up with this rod. So this is where the hard work is. Once you get past this bit of the process, then every other thing is a breeze. So you make that hole there and stick your PVC rod, I think that's what it's called, into the hole, and just make sure that it's flat, and then you're gonna melt it a little bit on the fire, and just use your hands to, I'm sorry it didn't show here, but yeah, just use your hand to kind of flatten it so that it remains flat. And you can see that if you pull it, it's not going to come out the other end, and that's basically what you need it to be. Yeah, and now you just measure out the height and cut it. Just make sure that you measure out to be lower than what the height of the cake is going to be finally, because it's going to go through the entire cake, both the bottom tier and top tier. So now I'm cutting my cake. So this is going to be the bottom tier is a 7-inch vanilla cake, and I'm just layering the layers. I'm cutting the layers into two so that I have 4 layers for the bottom tier. For the top tier, I'm gonna be doing the same. I'm cutting 2 layers, 2 cakes into 4 layers as well. So now we make a hole in the bottom tier board. So that's a 10-inch board, and I put that central dowel in the center, and then I'm applying my Swiss meringue buttercream as my first. I'm gonna put a link so you can watch that and learn how to make Swiss meringue buttercream. So the thing that liquid there is basically simple syrup, and how you make it is just equal parts sugar, equal parts water. You boil that and then allow it to cool, and then you have your simple syrup. It's very useful. It makes the cake, extra moist. So it keeps it moist, so even if it goes in the fridge, it doesn't dry out. I always use it for my cakes. So as you can see, I'm at the end of putting my layers, and then I'm just gonna clean the board and then just do the crumb coat. Yep, so I'm doing the crumb coat now, and this method is actually quite easy. And yep. Okay, so yeah, so that's the crumb coat all done there, and that's your bottom tier all done. So I just pop it in the fridge and let that cool. Now we're working on the top tier. So you see I've attached that PVC thing to a bigger board so I can decorate on that. And then I'm just layering my cake layers. So that is a 5-inch cake. I'm just cutting into two. So I attached that with like a double-sided masking tape, and just putting the cake on it and doing the same thing. So just putting the simple syrup and my Swiss meringue buttercream. I'm just gonna do that um, for the rest of the layers until I've completed um, the 4 layers. Yep. And then the last layer goes on there. Now, anyway, you guys are gonna see what happened with I actually didn't I didn't cut that PVC rod to the right size. I should have cut it a little bit lower, and I will explain later what I mean. But yep, I'm just now finalizing the chrome coat. And don't mind that the cake is looking a bit wonky there. I mean, it's going to be corrected by the time I do the final coat. But as much as possible, try to, make it straight, as straight as possible, basically. But yeah, so after that, I'm just going to pop it in the fridge and let it harden while I, work on other things. Now this is back from the fridge and I'm gonna put the final coat. So I'm using okay, I'm gonna just add my dowels because the dowels are gonna help to carry the weight of the top tier. So I'm just putting 4 dowels in because my top tier is a 5-inch, so there's not much space there. So just 4 dowels and they go in there. Now my final coat is gonna be done with chocolate ganache. So this is white chocolate ganache, and that's because it's summer and you know I just wanted something more sturdy, something that's not gonna melt with the weather, and that's chocolate ganache that I'm using there. And yeah, I'm just doing the finishing touches. Good thing with chocolate ganache is you can correct um the rough edges quite easily. You just because the cake is still cold and it sets quite quickly, so you can just add it on and use a smaller um palette scraper to do that. Now I've brought out the top tier from the fridge and I'm just gonna do the same with the top tier. It's also white chocolate ganache. Just look how smooth and silky that is. Well, with chocolate ganache, you have to work really fast, especially if your cake is quite cold because it's gonna set very quickly. Yep. So there's a trick to that. Maybe one very soon I'll do a chocolate ganache video. But yeah. So that's how to correct those rough edges. You just top up the ganache basically, but just make sure that your ganache, the consistency of your ganache is quite liquidy because that ensures that it's you have a perfect smooth finish. Yeah. And then you just keep going. If you have any rough edges, you just top it up, scrape it off, and repeat the process until you get a perfectly smooth layer, a perfectly smooth top tier. Yeah, that's looking very good. We're just doing the rest of that, and it's looking quite good. Yeah, I'm liking it, and that's it. So now we bring back the top tier up from the fridge, and then you just cut off those excesses, and that's how you get your smooth edges. Yeah. And then just scrape off that middle part, and yeah, that's it. Yeah, so the second one, just basically doing the same thing, getting a smooth edge by cutting off the excess. Just see how easy that is. You don't have to stress yourself, and then just the excess at the middle there. And those are your layers basically prepared, ready to be stacked. How easy was that? Of course, I mean, you're not gonna do that in what, in 10 minutes? No, it takes some time, but yeah. So now it's time to stack, and you're just gonna take off the, or use a knife to just remove that bit. Like I said, I put a double-sided masking tape, so it's quite easy to remove. So you just take that off, and then try to position your bottom tier to make sure you are having the side you want to be in front, and then just lift it up and put it on top just like that. See, that was quite easy. And just look and make sure that it's facing the front, where you want it to be. And once you're satisfied with that, then you just push down the center dowel down, all the way down to the bottom. It actually goes right down to the bottom, and that is why you need to have cut it to the right size. So that's in my case, I didn't cut it to the right size, and that's why it's poking out there. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to fix it. And the PVC rod is not very easy to cut. You can't cut it with a scissors, so I used my garden shears to try to cut it. And well, I tried to cut out some parts, but some parts were still poking out. So what I just did was I basically just added more ganache on top and covered that bit. Yeah. So yeah, nothing spoiled. Eventually, I was able to fix it, but just a reminder for you: make sure that it's better that it's actually, shorter than the height of the entire cake. So try to just make sure that you cut it to be a little bit shorter than the entire cake, rather than being too tall. Yep. And yeah, I'm just doing now, just trying to smoothen out the top, and also, where the top tier joins the bottom tier. There's just a little bit of gap there. So I just put in a little bit more ganache and smoothing that out to make sure that there's no gap there. And yeah, and that's it basically. That is it's well stacked. And you can see that there's a crack there. That often happens with ganache. Sometimes when you bring it out of the fridge, you see that there's a crack. Probably because maybe air wants to come out. I don't know, but if you see that there's a crack, all you need to do is just add more ganache on top of that crack and just scrape it off, and that covers the crack. Yep, so that is me still trying to smoothen out that bit. Yeah, two-tier cake is not, I mean, of course, I'm saying it's easy now because, yeah, but it's kind of time consuming because, anyway, finally we are done with that. And now we are adding our edible image and putting our decorations. This is the fun part, really. Once you've done all the hard work, now it's time to have fun with it. So I'm just putting my graduation heart, which I actually ordered online. I ordered it from Etsy. You can make yours yourself, but I mean, I try to save my time, so I just ordered that. And then I'm just putting the cake decorating balls, black and gold. And yep, I'm putting on the left side, on the right side, try to balance the cake. So there's something already on top, so I put one on in the middle, and then at the bottom, gives the balance. And then you just work out, how you look at it and see, okay, do you need more balls? Are they looking well positioned? If there's one that's not looking well positioned, you just remove it and replace it. It's just trial and error, really, and you have an eye for what looks good. And once you see it looks good, you would know. And yeah, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, they say. So that's me done there, and I felt, that middle part looks bare. I need to put something there, and that's why I had to put a topper. Thankfully, I had a congratulations topper there, and that's just finished it perfectly. How about that? Yep. And voila, we are done. Done, done, done. Let me know in the comments if this came out really nice, if you loved this. I love this cake. I love how it turned out, how it's just so beautiful. Just let me know if you like it, and if you have any questions, and if there's anything else you would like me to teach you next time. And please subscribe to my channel. It will really help me, and you'll also not miss any of my cake videos. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the Cakey Ducks channel, and watch the rest of my videos, and you will learn a lot from me. Until next time, bye.